There's a very prominent member of this channel who calls themselves New World Media. He normally has some very interesting comments, very interesting views, which I deeply appreciate. I always read this guy's views with a lot of interest. In fact, I enjoy them, and I learn a lot from him. Now, New World Media has come up with a few questions which he has posed to me. And I thought these were very interesting questions, and I thought it's a very good idea that we actually answer those questions in a video. The questions are as follows. Can we now safely say that Uhuru Kenyatta's second term is as a lame duck president? That's one question. Number two, is 2022 race for the presidency now officially launched, whatever the circumstances? And then number three, what would happen if Ruto resigned? Yeah, if DP Ruto resigned, what would happen? Would it force a snap election? Number four is about the Muguna factor. Yeah, is the Muguna factor still a major thing to look out for in our politics? Yeah, more so, what kind of Luo vote would somebody like Muguna expect? Very interesting question. Number five, would DP Ruto change things positively for himself by choosing a female running mate? Yeah, could he change the game in his favor by having a female running mate? Extremely fascinating questions, and we're going to answer them immediately after the short commercial break. Don't go away, because I know most of the answers are going to shock you. Welcome back. Now, strictly speaking, a lame duck president is the kind of president who can hardly get anything done. Yeah, and usually you'll have no numbers in parliament. Therefore, if he wants a law passed, yeah, getting enough legislators to rally around his agenda is virtually impossible. So, strictly speaking, and in my view, Uhuru Kenyatta is not a lame duck president. However, I get his point. Yeah, and his point is this. The powers of Uhuru Kenyatta, when you compare to the powers he had during his first term, are much, much less. The procedure before was that things are decided in State House. Yeah, Duale is given the agenda, and he goes to Parliament, and pop, the law is passed. Very simple. The president did not need to consult anybody. The president did not need to consult widely. Of course, the situation is very different now, because even starting with the majority leader, that guy is in another camp. He's a DP Ruto man. And therefore, in my view, the president cannot trust Aden Duale 100%. No way. Not only that, to get anything passed, the president has to consult very, very widely. He has to consult with the other side of the handshake. Yeah, what do you think? We want to do this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. because he does not want to mess up the handshake, because that's at the center of the whole game plan going forward. And then, very important, he also has to consult with the Gideon Moi camp. So in many ways, the powers and the ability of the president to do things has definitely reduced, and that is a fact. However, he's still commander-in-chief. However, he can still issue executive orders, whatever other people think. Okay? But you see, it's a delicate balancing act. Okay? And that delicate balancing act means that things are definitely not what they were before. Yeah? Number two, is the 2022 race officially launched? I believe it is. Yeah? Under very strange circumstances, but it is. Because somebody is trying to sideline DP Ruto, his troops have no option but to make sure 2022 remains very prominently in national discussion. Which brings us to question number 3. What would happen if Ruto resigned? Now, that would not mean a fresh presidential election, yeah, unless, of course, Ruto rallied his troops and rallied parliament to pass a vote of no confidence, which is highly unlikely. And in any case, no politician, yeah, in either side of the political divide would be interested in going back to the ballot anytime soon. You see, getting elected is very hard work. Yeah, a lot of these people just scraped through. A lot of these people have come from very bruising battles, yeah, political battles. Therefore, telling them now to go back to another election, that's a nightmare. And then, of course, people never resign in Kenya, hardly ever. Especially if you're just a heartbeat away from the presidency. Very unlikely. Whatever is done to you, chances are you'll do your best just to stick it out. You see, even in the current political situation, Ruto's biggest weapon, yeah, is the fact that he's still deputy president of Kenya. And in politics, anything can happen, yeah, as unlikely as it may seem. The president could resign, yeah, that means the deputy president takes over. Something would happen to the president, God forbid. That would mean that the deputy president would take over. Yeah. So there are so many situations that there are so many cards. Yeah. That even though DP William Ruto has been cornered, the fact that he's still deputy president gives him some breathing space, some room to operate and survive. You see, whatever feelings you have towards DP Ruto, it cannot be wished away because of that fact that he's deputy president. Therefore, the last thing you'd want to do is to resign. Number 4, Miguna factor. The Miguna factor, yeah, is really unknown. Okay, we know that he has very wide support right across the country. Remember, we did a survey on this channel. We know that Kenyans in the diaspora are totally for Miguna. But this is politics. It's not enough to be popular. Other things need to happen, yeah, to push you to the front row, yeah, where you can battle it out with the other big boys. And those things are yet to happen. For instance, despite the fact that Miguna has got a lot of support currently, yeah, there's no presidential election. And there is no confrontation significant enough or big enough, yeah, to pit him against the powers that be. Therefore, really, that's why I said Miguna is an unknown factor for now. As far as the Luo vote is concerned, that is tricky, okay, because the Luo vote belongs to Raila Odinga. Don't be fooled. People can complain, people can vent and say all kinds of things about Raila right in his strongholds, yeah. But when push comes to shove, they're with Raila. That is the truth. Now, about Ruto getting a woman running mate, in my view, his image is so damaged that even this will not repair it. And I'm talking about his national image. He's, of course, very much loved within the Rift Valley, yeah. But tell me where else I can get radical Ruto supporters? Nowhere. And then, of course, the other question is which particular woman candidate are you talking about? Because it's not enough to be a woman. You have to have a political following. Or at the very least, you have to be in a position where you're capable of whipping up massive support for the ticket, yeah, as a woman. And then look at the record of women who have run for the presidency. Okay, so far, only one woman has managed to get national widespread appeal. And that is the current governor of Kitui, Charity Ngilu. Yeah, and I believe she's unavailable because she's busy in Kitui as governor. Anyway, those are my views to these very interesting questions. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.